Hi, and welcome to this LinkMoses private quick video tutorial. There's been so much publicity and press, it seems like you cannot go a day without hearing something about Pinterest. The site is pinterest.com. That's interest with a P in front of it. So I wanted to give you a quick overview for those who might not be familiar with exactly what it is. Probably the easiest way to think about it is to think about a bulletin board in your home where you stick things with a push pin that are important to you, whether it's a coupon for that you want to use at a store, or one of your kids' baseball schedules, or what have you. Now think of that in the online world, but where you can associate the things that you pin with URLs. Now what you're looking at right now is the Pinterest homepage. I'm logged into my Pinterest account, and I just created this account recently just to get a better grasp of exactly how people might use and unfortunately abuse this particular tool from a link building perspective. What you're seeing right here is just a collection of images that have been taken from other websites by particular Pinterest users. Primarily the types of things people pin will be pictures, but that doesn't mean that you cannot pin other things as well. Let me give you an example real quick how this works. So if I go to my own settings, you'll see that what you have is a collection of what they call pin boards. Now at the beginning, when you first log in, you get a collection of preset pin boards. This one, for example, is called My Style, Products I Love, Books Worth Reading, For the Home. I actually created my own board over here called Hearing Loss Websites. I did that because it's a topic that's of particular interest to me. Now, when you first create your Pinterest account, one of the things they'll ask you to do is they'll give you this little button that's called the Pin It button, and you can see it right up here on the top of my Chrome toolbar, so that when you're on a website, if you find something that you'd like to pin, you can do so. So while most people tend to pin products, or like in this case obviously books, if you wanted to create a new board, you could do that. You could create a new board or edit one of the existing boards. But now let me show you how the actual pinning process works and where the link ends up coming from. Let me quickly open up a website here and go back to my search result that brought me to it. I did a search on, if I do a search on kids and hearing loss, and then I'm getting a number of results here. What's this site here from Kids Health? Well, this looks like it might be a site that I might want to come back to when I want to do some research. So here's where the pinning process begins. Remember this URL. We had kidshealth.org/kid/health problem/ let me see if I can widen that for you. Yeah, there we go. Makes it a little bit easier to see now. There's the full URL. Well, what happens if I click Pin It? Notice what Pinterest has done is they haven't necessarily pinned the website so much as what they did is look for images on that page that they felt were representative of that page to help me. For example, let's go back to the page real quick. And the images we see are the top image here. We also see these other images along the side. There looks like there's actually a number of images they could have pulled. So when I click Pin It, we see what they're offering me is just that one image. So let me go ahead and click Pin this. Notice what just popped up. This long URL string here, it by default assumed that I wanted to place that in my hearing loss pin board, which is in fact where I want to put it. Notice one of the other options is to create a new board, but I don't want to do that. I want to keep it right here. Let me describe that pin. I think I'm going to put down here that this was from Kids Health. Notice I'm not putting a full URL. I'm just typing the Kids Health site. Now I'm going to click Pin It. Now let's see my pin. Now it's taking me to the specific pin board where it says Eric Ward just pinned via the pin marklet. That's what they call the little Pin It button. Notice over here what happens when I mouse over this from kidshealth.org. It's tough to see. It's down here in Chrome on the bottom, but that's the specific URL. There's your link. When I click here, watch what happens. I go back to that site. So it is in fact possible to use Pinterest for link building if you create a board that's of interest to you, regardless of what your topic is. As for what's going to happen with these types of links and their effect on organic search rank, to be honest, I think that it's way too early to tell. Unfortunately, what tends to happen on the web is once something gets a lot of press and publicity and attention, it's almost before the end user can turn it into something useful, the spammer will get there and try to figure out ways to abuse it. For example, I suppose if I wanted to, I could go to my own site. Right here, I could click pin it, and you can see all the various images. Let's take that one from an interview from WebPro News. Now at this point it wouldn't make no sense for me to put this at hearing loss websites. It's not books worth reading, it's not for the home, it's not my style, it's not products I love. So I guess I could create a new board. What would I call that board? I need to enter a board name. How about All About Me, Me, Me? Create. So now I've just created a new board, and now I need to describe my pin, and I'll do interview with WebPro News. Pin it. Let me see my pin. So now you can see if I were to mouse over this or click that, it will take me to my own home page. And why it chose to grab that image, that's kind of interesting to me, what it is, the algorithm that Pinterest chooses to grab. Anyway, so there's my All About Me board. I can also go in here and see all my boards at any one time. So I have my new All About Me board, my style for the home, books worth reading, products I love, and then there's that hearing loss websites. So with that in mind, I think what we have to expect is that people are going to create Pinterest accounts and start bookmarking images, etc. on websites, knowing that the website link is going to come along for the ride, and their hope probably will be that they would be rewarded with better search rank. In my opinion, that's pretty far down the road. I would suggest you use Pinterest if you're involved in the retail or for product pinning, or just the best thing you could possibly do with any of these is don't think about SEO. Get an account and start playing with it. That's typically how I've learned everything I've learned about the various tools over the course of the past nearly 2 decades. So anyway, that's a quick summary of Pinterest. I hope you found it useful, and I'll look forward to the next edition of LinkMoses private videos.